Please support the bar by subscribe, and sharing my cast. Follow my social media at Facebook, Instagram, Gab, Parler, BitChute, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, CloutHub, and Rumble, or join my Subscribe Star. Make a donation by clicking on the links on the description box. I am a listener-supported show, so any of the above is greatly appreciated. Help me grow and spread the truth, since the mainstream media obviously does not want to support truth. All links are listed on the description box. God bless you and enjoy.
Welcome to the Speak Uneasy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist, because we are in a different prohibition era.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Speak Uneasy with me, the bartender. So to start off tonight's show, we are going to have our random read like we always do. And this one comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36 through 45. God knows the day and hour. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noe were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noe entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye not know what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Once again, that read comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36 through 45. God knows the day and hour. Now, the message that I think the Lord is giving me. Lately, I've been getting these random reads where I don't even have to explain much. Everything is self-explanatory on that. We all don't know when God's Son is coming back, or we don't even know when God is even coming. But we always have to be prepared. We always have to be prepared, because we will never know. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready when the time comes. You can do whatever you want in your life, but repentance is a very important thing. I myself struggle every day. I struggle every day with sin. I do. I'm not perfect. I try to pray every day. I try. But it's a difficult thing for me to do. Even if it's just a conversation with God. From time to time, I'll even just pray in my head. But I can't even do that consistently. I try to read scripture as much as I can so I may understand what the word of the Lord is. But even that becomes very difficult for me. But I try. I struggle. And I know God sees me trying to become a better person. I know He sees me trying to build that relationship with Him. It's a very difficult thing. It's never an easy thing. And I don't do these random reads and break down what I think these random reads are because I think I'm more righteous or I have more insight than other people do. I do this because I want people to know that God is using me to send a message to you, and in turn hoping that you would hear the word of God. There's been a lot of things that's been happening lately that's been really crazy. A lot of things. Last year was an eye-opener. And if you haven't figured out that last year that this whole thing is a spiritual battle, I don't know what else to tell you. We have to build that relationship with God. We do. It doesn't matter who our president is. It doesn't matter who the leader is. God ultimately calls all the shots here. And we need to establish that relationship with God. We need to give Him praise. A lot of people have been giving, President Trump praise, and it's we're forgetting the Almighty here. God has allowed Trump to do what he was supposed to do. We cannot forget God. The moment you forget God, I feel sorry for you. And I'm not forcing you to, I'm not forcing you to believe what you want to believe, but I do ultimately believe that God is the Almighty. And if you want to call it a Christian sect, sure, you can call it whatever it is, but I follow Jesus, and I know God is Jesus' Father. So that's my take on today's random read. We really don't know when Jesus is making his comeback again. We don't know. There's so many theories out there, like who could be the second savior, or who's the beast, the Antichrist. There's so many theories out there. But in the end, we don't know. Nobody knows. So please establish your relationship with God. Because I'm telling you this because I don't want it to be too late. There's going to be a point in time where it's going to be too late. So please establish that relationship. And I stress that out all the time. It doesn't matter who you follow. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're in politically and stuff. Ultimately, God calls all the shots. You want to talk about the shot caller who holds the keys? God does. So that's my take. Now, tonight's cocktail, we're making something really simple today. It's going to be a Scotch and Soda. So right now, what I have here, I have two different scotches here that I'm going to blend together. They're both different, but they're both of the same brand. So one bottle, and the reason why I have two different bottles of scotch here is because one of the bottles it's almost done. Like I might as well just pour it in there with whatever else I'm going to blend it in there with. So my first bottle that I have here, they're both from Macallan. Okay? If you know anything about Scotch, man, Macallan is great Scotch, but in my opinion, and I'm not a connoisseur of any sort, in my opinion, I think Macallan is a little overrated because there are a lot more Scotches out there that are way better than Macallan, and that's just my opinion. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Macallan. Macallan's a great Scotch, but you can find other Scotches out there for less money that taste better. And that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? So let's go ahead and start this cocktail. So I have here my Collins glass. I do not have a jigger, so I'm going to free pour this. Okay. So the first bottle of Macallan Scotch that I have here is a 10-year. It's a 10-year-old. I don't think they make these anymore. So I have so little of it left, so I'm just gonna kill it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that off. I'm gonna pour that inside the Collins glass. And the other bottle of Scotch by Macallan that I have here is a 12-year double cask. This seems to be popular with younger people who are starting to get into Scotches. So the first bottle that I poured in there is a 10-year-old, just your average 10-year-old triple cask matured Macallan Scotch, and I'm gonna mix that in with the 12-year double cask. I've already poured about an ounce in there. I'm gonna pour another ounce, maybe an ounce and a half. Now, mind you, these are two different colors. The Macallan 10-year triple cask matured, that is a little bit lighter than this 12-year double cask that I just poured. It's a 12-year double cask, if I didn't mention that. So I've already poured that in, and now I'm going to pour some soda water, and the soda water that I'm using tonight is by Fever Tree Club Soda. We're going to go ahead and top off the glass here with some of the soda water. Top that off. All right. Now this part is optional. Some people like putting lemon. I have a little piece of lime tonight, so I'm going to squeeze the lime. And mind you, it's optional. I'm going to squeeze like it's like a quarter slice of a lime, and I'm going to throw that in. After I squeeze it, I'm just going to throw the whole thing inside. Okay. Now we're going to give this a little stir. And now for the taste. Man, that is refreshing. So the Macallan 12-year double cask, it's very strong. I still get the sherry. I do get the sherry taste from the bottles that they use to mature the Scotch in. There is a heavy sherry taste in there. This adding the club soda in there makes it a lot more easier to drink Scotches, because Scotches are very bold types of whiskey. They're very bold, and a lot of that has to do also with the water that they use in Scotland. And I think back during World War II, Winston Churchill made this drink actually popular. Like, he would have Scotch and sodas all the time. The type of Scotch he was using, I don't know. But he would drink Scotch and soda all the time. I got a little history here on the Scotch and soda. This one's coming out of vinepair.com. And the article reads, "The history of the highball soda cocktail." Because we made this highball style. Words are from Jake Eman and illustration by Topher Edwards. This article is part of a cocktail history series sponsored by Johnny Walker. Discover more about classic Scotch cocktails here, and it's a link that you click. Often, it's the seemingly simple things in life that offer the most satisfaction. The unquestioned beauty of a sunset, the deliciousness of a perfectly prepared steak. Oh, yes. Yes. Seasoned only with a sprinkle of salt. The refreshing glory of a highball. Yep. A drink whose relatively straightforward nature, spirits, soda, ice, bellies its staying power and ubiquity. That's exactly what the Scotch and soda is. The highball is about elegant irreverence, a totem to refreshment that offers a platform for whiskey to shine. A blended Scotch, in particular, works wonders in the drink, thanks to the complexity and well-rounded flavors of the whiskey. A highball made with, okay, mind you, this is going to be a very pro Johnny Walker article. A highball made with Johnny Walker delivers a swirl of fruits and floral notes, weaving together a touch of vanilla and even a wisp of smoke, all light on its toes. There are several competing claims as to the provenance of the highball. I'm just not reading well today. I think my eyes are getting bad. The Adams House in Boston apparently made one in an editorial appearing in the New York Times with its account that pilloried in the October 25th, 1927 edition of the same paper with a letter sent from one Patrick J. Duffy, the former head barkeeper of a Manhattan establishment known as the Ashland House. In 1894, Duffy opened his own cafe and states that in the spring of that year, English actor E.J. Ratcliffe was a fixture at the bar. According to Duffy, Ratcliffe asked for a Scotch and soda, to which the barman admitted he carried no Scotch. After several months, Duffy tracked down a handful of cases from his supplier, at which point he writes, "In a week I sold little but Scotch highballs, as Ratcliffe called the new drink, which consisted of Scotch, a lump of ice, and a bottle of club soda." And so the highball proper was born, with much of the credit belonging to Ratcliffe. In 1895, the highball further makes an appearance in The Mixologist, a drinks guide from Chris Lawler of the Burnett House in Cincinnati, as a cousin of the splendidly ordained and strikingly familiar concoction known as the splifficator. By 1900, the highball is featured in Harry Johnson's Bartender's Manual, a work now deemed one of bartending's most essential early tomes. If we backtrack a bit further, in the early 1800s, the highball predecessor can be found in the form of the brandy and soda, which, according to the historical mining of cocktail experts and writer David Wanderich, was popular in England at the time. With proximity to Scotland's burgeoning whiskey industry, many of today's most noteworthy Scotch whiskey distilleries were founded in a burst of activity spanning the 1810s and the 1820s, including Cardhu, the spiritual home of Johnny Walker, which was founded in 1824. Only a small step which needed to meander from brandy and soda to Scotch and soda. The latter drink was assuredly enjoyed throughout the Isle of Britain, before eventually hopping across the pond, along with the Scotch whiskey with which it's made, thanks to thirsty proponents such as Ratcliffe, according to Wonderich's seminal Imbibe. By 1900, the Scotch highball was the most fashionable drink in America. The precise origin of the drink's name is also clouded. While Scotch and soda works ably enough as a calling card, Leave it to the aforementioned and enterprising barman to give the libation a much-needed jolt. The highball, well, that's a name that had wings. That's a name that flies. Hold on while I take a sip. Man, this is a great drink. In The Joy of Mixology, Gary Reagan ties the drink's name to a railroad term, wherein the conductor would know the train could move ahead after a ball indicator showed enough water in the tank. Example, there was a highball. The conductor would then issue 2 short whistles and one long, which for gas tracked nicely with the 2 shots of whiskey and a long pour of soda atop in the drink. Another story has that a man wanted to have a ball in a bar, a euphemism not only for a good time, but also an English expression for a glass of whiskey. And after being served in short rock-style glasses, said that wouldn't do. He needed a high glass to have a high ball. Indeed, the drink is held in such high esteem that it has its own signature vessel, the highball glass, tall and narrow, and holding between 8 and 12 ounces. Any elongated glass will do the trick in a pinch, though, including a Collins glass. Over the century that followed, the drink ebbed and flowed in popularity. But it has perhaps never enjoyed a more prominent place at the bar, at least since its fantastically fashionable prime circa the truth of the 20th century than it has right now. The drink is particularly well rooted in Japan. It sure is. Very popular in Japan, where from yakitori bars and karaoke dens and even vending machines stocked with canned versions, the highball is ubiquitous in the country's drinking culture. Yeah, I can attest to that. They do have these in cans in their vending machines. They call those in Japanese. They call those jido hanbaiki. One key to its newly regained success is its drinkability. As far as cocktails go, the highball packs a soft punch with more mixer than booze, typically anywhere from a 2-to-1 to 4-to-1 ratio, spirit to soda. The fizzier the better, and all the better still if you have some shimmery, slender, and clear ice cubes to drop in there. Best of all, of course, is to use a Scotch whiskey, such as Johnny Walker, which has roots as deep as the drink itself. A pour of Scotch on the rocks with a generous splash of soda atop it. The highball proves the point that sometimes the most pared down ideas are also the most revelatory and long-lasting. Cold, crisp, and refreshing, pleasantly bubbly, and with all of your favorite blended Scotch whisky's standout flavors shining through. The highball has stood the test of time for great reason. And that article was published back in September 2nd of 2020. Once again, that's by vinepair.com. I'm assuming it was written by Jake Eman and illustrated by Topher Edwards. And once again, this is a very pro Johnny Walker article. I'm using something different. I'm using Macallan, but you're more than welcome to use any Scotch that you want. So that's a little history. Man, what an interesting drink, to be honest. I know I'm going to go a little bit off of this because this drink, it's very easy to make, and it's a very elegant drink. It really is. It's very easy to drink, especially with scotches. For some people, it's very hard to drink Scotch neat. It's very hard. But adding soda water to this, and it made a big difference too, because I put some lime. I squeezed a lime, like a quarter part of a lime in there, and tossed it in there, and it makes it such an easy way of drinking scotch. So here's to the highball known as Scotch and Soda, Slanjava. And now on to the show. So I have a few articles here that I want to read and give my thoughts on as I read. The first one comes from, you know what? I forgot where I got these articles from, but the person who wrote the article is named Robert Kraychick, and this article is written on January 26th of this year. Title reads, Ontario authorities patrol Costco, Walmart to enforce masking, distancing. You know, as I'm reading that title, I'm already shaking my head. Ontario issued dozens of fines to large retailers and their customers, $1,000 and $750 Canadian, respectively. Over recent weeks, as part of its big box store blitz to enforce compliance with mask wearing and social distancing decrees, ostensibly issued as public health protection measures, the province deployed about 50 inspectors, in quotes, from its Ministry of Labor, Training and Skills Development, in addition to local bylaw and police officers, to retailers such as Costco, Loblaws, and Walmart. Dozens of fines have been issued in recent weeks to both patrons and businesses for violations of what Ontario deems Charlie Victor 19 health and safety requirements, in quotes. CTV News reported on escalation of punishment. Wow. Including fines and imprisonment for more serious, in quotes, violations of the Reopening Ontario, a flexible response to Charlie Victor 19 Act. The government said if a violation is more serious, a person can be charged with failing to comply with an order. If convicted, the court can impose fines as high as $100,000 for individuals, and directors and officers of a corporation can be fined up to $500,000. Both could also receive terms of imprisonment of up to 1 year. This has gotten out of hand, man. This has gotten out of hand. The fear factor that the media has portrayed to the people have sent these people just off the cliff. Insane. I didn't read that part. That was my commentary. A resident of Ottawa, Ontario, told Breitbart News, okay, this is from Breitbart, that local police officers were patrolling a Costco over the weekend to enforce compliance with mask wearing and distancing edicts. Costco's customers were forced to wait outside in freezing winter temperatures in order to comply with imposed capacity limits, presumably to limit the spread of Charlie Victor 19. Breitbart News was told that Costco customers were advised by company staff that police officers were patrolling the store to enforce mask wearing and distancing mandates among patrons. This is crazy. Now, I know it's Canada. It's a different country than the US. I understand that, and rules and laws may be different. But in my opinion, and this is just opinion, any cop that enforces shit like this has got to be out of their minds. Out of their minds. So now cops are you going to take people to jail for not wearing a mask, for not social distancing? Really? You're going to put somebody who's overall a good citizen, who's never broken the law, and lock them up with people who have who have extensive records of criminal history. Really? You're going to do that? I don't know I really don't know what happened to this world. I really don't. I've seen videos in Australia where cops beat people up for not wearing masks. That is, what can I say about that? There are no words. Where is the humanity in these cops? Have they, is it that important for you to keep that job that you have to go to that extent to treat people that way? For something that's not even that, for a virus where you have a 99% of living, even if you do get it. Really? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to say. I do know what I want to say, but I kind of have to hold back. I have so much that I want to say, but because of certain things that I have going for me right now, I have to hold back. I do. But one day, everything that I want to say will be able to come out. CTV News reported that 24 fines were issued to businesses in Ottawa over the weekend. The most common infractions were for inadequate screening, exceeding capacity limits, and lacking a Charlie Victor 19 safety plan, it wrote. 9 people were fined by Ottawa bylaw officers for not wearing masks as part of Ontario's big box store blitz this past weekend. 2 warnings were issued to businesses with insufficient and hand sanitizer at entrances. In the greater Toronto and Hamilton area, 240 big box stores were patrolled by, in quotes, ministry inspectors and local authorities. Man, this is nuts, dude. And with the current president that this country has, and I'm talking about U.S., it wouldn't surprise me if we started going that direction as well. But I do have faith that there are things behind the scenes, hopefully working, where this guy this so-called president that we have right now, man, hopefully things work out, and hopefully we can get back to a more free country, if you know what I mean. Ontario characterizes its issuance of fines and warnings as an endeavor to protect workers in response to rising Charlie Victor 19 cases, the province claimed. Of course they're gonna, it's always in the guise of we have to protect the people. Look what happened after 9/11 with the Patriot Act, huh? You like going through those machines now? I don't. I hate it. Lucky for me, I'm a TSA pre-check, so I don't have to go through that dumb body scanner. The Blitz will focus on ensuring workers and patrons are wearing masks, maintaining physical distance, and following every health and safety measure. Workplace health and safety inspectors will have the authority to ticket supervisors. Jeez. Employees and patrons who do not comply with Charlie Victor 19 safety requirements temporarily close a premise and disperse groups of more than 5 people. Dude. We know most businesses are operating responsibly and taking the necessary steps to protect their workers and customers. And I want to thank them for their efforts, said Minister McNaughton. This guy's a POS. Where we find an employer who has been acting in bad faith, we won't hesitate to take action by immediately slapping them with a ticket and a fine. There will be real consequences for those who break the rules. Really? Really? For those who there will be real consequences for those who break the rules. Really? Well, how about the elitists that have been breaking rules for a long time? Are there consequences for them? Ontario added the following warning under a quick facts section of its press release. Individuals and businesses who are not following the rules can be fined. The set fines are $750 for not following the rules, $1,000 for preventing others, including employees or other workers, from following the rules. Maximum fines can be up to $100,000 for individuals and $10 million for a corporation. Dude, talk about a scam, huh? Talk about a scam that the government is implementing to collect more money from the people. This is basically what it is. This is my opinion. This is all my opinion. Failure to allow the rules could also result in prosecution or even a year in jail. Ontario officers posters for businesses to display for their employees, including a break poster, lunch poster, and keep it to yourself poster. Dude, what the hell? Ontario's lunch poster states, keep it up at work. Do I have to say this word? Be COVID safe. Eat at a safe distance from others. Finish eating and put your mask back on to socialize. Go separately to pick up food. Ontario's Ministry of Labour, Training and Skills Development claimed to have inspected over 23,000 workplaces since it began conducting such inspections. Once again, I think that was from Breitbart, and the article was written by Robert Kraychik. And that was back in January 26th. Mind you, I find these articles a few days late. I kind of shed light on articles I think that might be kind of shunned, and stuff that I think would interest me. But so it looks like Canada is going stupid, man. It really does. People have really lost their minds as far as this whole mask thing. And now they're saying, well, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Doom, right? I think he stated in one of these news outlets that wearing multiple masks will be a lot more safer. Okay, so let me get this straight. You pile that thing on, right? So you put one mask on, right? You already have a hard time breathing as it is because you have that stupid muzzle on your face, right? Now you put multiple muzzles on your face. So you're telling me that breathing to live is less important than... It's more important that you prevent yourself getting this virus that you can survive 99%, right? And your breathing is less important than that. I mean, you're pretty much killing yourself, right? You're killing yourself the more masks you pack onto your face. I mean, your brain still needs oxygen, right? And if we're constantly breathing in our own carbon dioxide, not carbon monoxide, because carbon monoxide comes out of cars. We are not cars, unless you, of course, identify as one. I identify as a human being. So I breathe out carbon dioxide. And you know what's funny is that I've always stated that I was always a horrible student in high school or in school in general, but yet I'm smart enough to remember that I breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. I don't know where these people got this thing that we breathe out carbon monoxide. I don't know. But that's the education system for you, right? the present one. So I know that if we're breathing our own carbon dioxide, that's slowly killing us. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I do know that your brain is getting lack of oxygen, right? And slowly we're going to eventually kill ourselves doing that, breathing in our own carbon dioxide, because what we're doing is we're breathing out toxins from our body and breathing in fresh air, right? I don't know. Am I missing something here? I don't know. Masks, muzzles. I call them muzzles. And I have to deal with this thing every week because I fly every week from one state to another. I do. I have to deal with it. You know? As much as possible, I try not to wear it. When I'm in the plane, I have no choice because they're going to ban you from flying. And I can only stick this out for a few more months. I'm hoping that I don't have to be flying in sometime this year, because I'd really like to stay here and do my own thing. I've encouraged people to do their own thing as well. But in the meantime, I have to wear the stupid muzzle every time I'm traveling. It's just, I have to. But as far as packing on the muzzles, if you're one of those people that do that, I'm sorry. You're killing yourself, You're killing yourself over, you're scared of something that you shouldn't even be afraid of. And a lot of people have become germaphobes from this. How else do you build up your immune system if you don't expose yourself to, when I was a kid, when friends of mine would have chicken pox, my mom would always say, go play with him. It didn't really click in my head because I'm young. I'm like, why do you want me to play with so-and-so? I mean, he has the chicken pox. Aren't you worried that I might get it? And she says, no, go ahead and play. So I play, I get the chicken pox and I get through it. And now I don't need a vaccination for it because I've already been exposed to it. It didn't kill me. But that was the thinking back then. I'm beginning to suspect that some old things don't have to change, right? I mean, of course, you're not going to do that when it comes to like AIDS or something. You're not going to be like, yeah, let me just have sex with this person, get AIDS, so then I can be immune to AIDS. That's stupid, okay? We're talking about common sense things here. So this whole Charlie Victor 19, you get exposed to it. Some people don't even get sick. They get the virus, but they don't get sick. Those people are lucky. They don't have to go through the pain of being sick. But once you have it, what's there to worry about? Right? You don't need a vaccination. And have you guys even checked the results of people's side effects from the vaccinations? It's going up real fast. I mean, I don't have the actual facts in front of my face right now. Maybe I'll save that for another show. But there are people that I listen to out there in alternative media that have kind of reported on it, and it's crazy. People are lining up to sign their own death certificates. I don't know how society has come to this point. So let's let's go into this other article that I have here. Okay, this. I mean, I don't know what to say about this, but I'm gonna read it, and you can make your own determination about how you feel about it. But if people buy this hook, line, and sinker, then I think we got bigger problems than this whole scamdemic. I think people's brains have got to, I don't know what has happened to their brains, okay? So, this article right here, I got this from stupid.news, as I like to come to this website all the time. Article is written by Mike Adams, and I believe he has his own channel on Brighteon. I think you can find him on BitChute. Great guy. I think he's called if this is the Mike Adams that I'm thinking, it's probably the Health Ranger. And this guy has he's a good researcher. Okay, this article is written on the 27th of this month as well. Situation update, January 27th, COVID, science insanity. Here we go. Anal swabs and face diapers. Okay, this is not a joke, okay? This is not a joke. I'm going to read this, okay? I'm going to read this. Today's situation update for January 27th discusses the Texit movement, which I hope happens, Texas secession, the military occupation of the District of Columbia, foreign land DC, and dares to delve into bizarre, horrifying new science that demands anal swab COVID testing for children and adults. Okay, when you say children, man, it doesn't get funny anymore. Okay, it does not get funny anymore once kids are being brought in the picture for anything anal. No, it doesn't become a joke anymore. Yes, anal swabs are the new COVID-19 testing protocol now being pushed in China, and no doubt arriving soon in America because of this guy that we have as our so-called president. Scientists and the media are claiming that if they stick a swab up your butt, it reduces false positives. Well, you know what also solves false positives? When you punch that person who's sticking that swab up your butt in the face, right? When you punch that person in the face, they're going to be compelled to say, oh, you're negative. Of course, it's all just stupid at this point. The coronavirus is a respiratory... I'm sorry. Oh boy. I sometimes I cannot read these articles with a straight face. I just can't. How did we get to this? How did we get to this? Let me continue reading, and then I'll vent after. And unless you breathe through your rectum, anal swabs are nothing more than obedience training for sheeple. Correct. Yes. Globalists are literally dreaming up the most insane things they can think of, then declaring those things to be science and demanding you comply. Very true. Very true. This is all about power, and this is all about humiliating us from people who with power. They want to absolutely humiliate us, which is why they implement these dumb things. And I don't understand why people are not smart enough to pick up on these things. I don't know. Obedient slaves. This is how it has come to triple mask being pushed by the delusional media, along with anal swabs that require you to pull down your pants and literally bend over and take it up the rear in the name of compliance. China pushes anal coronavirus tests, declares the National Pulse. That story cites the Washington Post, which explains some Chinese doctors say the science is there. Recovering patients, they say, have continued to test positive through samples from the lower digestive tract days after nasal and throat swabs came back negative. Dude, really? You're gonna believe what China says? Man, I don't trust anything from China. I don't trust Chinese people, and I'm sorry. I don't. That's just me. Is it kind of, how would you say it, I don't want to say it's racist because, I judge people on character, right? But when you have this country who have brainwashed these people so bad and their belief system is in line with that, with what that country's government is, I don't trust them. Okay? Of course, Taiwanese people are cool because they want out. They want out of they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that China does not grab them. And big ups to those Chinese people in Hong Kong who are trying to stand up for independence. Those people I support. This is all based on faulty PCR testing, by the way, which determines the outcome of the test by changing the cycle settings to achieve whatever desired outcome they want. See, it's manipulated. It always is. But as it's stated in the now podcast below, I'm sorry. There's a podcast below, and that's by Mike Adams. If COVID is in your butt, why do you have to wear a diaper on your face? Hey, common sense, right? Common sense, not so common anymore. It's almost like a special skill to have discernment, right? It's almost like a special skill for you to have common sense. I didn't even go to school for that. That was just something that I learned as I was growing up. The new anal swab, I should say, COVID testing is also, of course, another twisted opportunity for left-wing perverts and pedophiles to sodomize children in the name of science. Yep. Opportunists. Liberals, man. Liberals. No doubt, top Democrat donors will be lining up as volunteers to conduct anal swabbing on children because they're truly that twisted. All right. And that was the article. Well, if these guys want to push this so much, why don't they go out in public, right? These people who are in power, so to speak, if they want this implemented on us so bad, why don't you publicly show everybody that you're doing it? Go. Do it. Do it. Pull your pants down, stick your ass out, and take that swab of Q-tip inside there, or whatever it is that they're going to put up there. But they ain't going to put anything up my rear end. Okay? That is not an entrance. That's only an exit. As far as I'm concerned, for me, my behind is only an exit. So this is the degree of insanity that we have come to. And it wouldn't surprise me if people actually believe this. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. You're going to have people with degrees, with master's degrees, and for such a long time, we've always held people with so much, we've always thought that people are so smart when they have these master's degrees or PhD, when that's not necessarily the case most of the time. I mean, the area that I work at, there's medical people that work there, but those are I better just stop. Because I really want to say things about work, but it's better I don't. But to get back to this article, Not only are they pushing multiple muzzles, but now they're gonna be pushing this whole anus swab thing. I don't know what happened. I really don't know where we got lost. Will you allow your children to get one of these? You know what? I will smack the person that even recommends this for my kid. I will smack him. So, that is the two articles I wanted to go over. And I am going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about other things. So, see you after the break. And we're back from the break. Okay, so the next couple articles I have here is about the obvious that's happening in the financial spectrum of things. So the first article that I have here comes from Reuters, and it was published on January 31st, and it is by Tom Westbrook and Thigariju Adinarayan. I don't know how to pronounce that name. If I killed it, I'm sorry, but I'm trying my best to read this stuff, let alone reading English is like difficult for me lately. Okay, so this comes, see what I mean? I even pronounced that wrong. This comes from Reuters.com. This is in London. Silver broke above $30 an ounce for the first time since 2013 on Monday as an army of retail traders stormed into the metal, switching their focus from mission Gamestop and triggering fears of a multi-asset melt-up in global markets. As traders turned their attention to silver, a bigger and more liquid market than the individual stock targeted until last week, shares in video game retailer GameStop slipped 4% in pre-market trade after closing Friday at $325. Wow. Shares in the company, whose intentionally misspelled name earned the social media moniker of GameStonk, have soared 1,600% this year as small-time investors scooped up assets big fund managers had bet against or shorted. Another retail favorite, AMC Entertainment, was up 18%, having risen more than 500% this year. But these are relatively small moves compared to multi-fold swings last week when small-time traders who organized in online forums and traded with fee-free brokers such as Robinhood saddled several. Oh my, see what I mean? I can't read this stuff, man. It's sometimes it just saddled several powerful hedge funds with losses on their short positions. Instead, the frenzy was more apparent in spot silver, which headed for its biggest one-day rise since 2008 with an 11% gain. Silver's almost 20% increase since Wednesday has ignited a rally in silver mining stocks globally, with Fresnillo shares soaring 20.5% to the top of the UK blue chip FTSE 100 index. Shares Silver Trust ETF, the largest silver-backed ETF, was up 9% in U.S. pre-market trading. The rise in physical silver prices, which follows thousands of Reddit posts and hundreds of YouTube videos, suggests investors bearish on silver could be about to take a hit. I would look at the silver rally the same way as I would the GameStop saga, from the point of view of market stability. For now, it's not an immediate concern, but if we see sharp moves, we could see some deleveraging. Jeez, man, what is going on with me today? Deleveraging in markets, said Antoine Beauvais, a strategist at ING. Oh my goodness. I didn't drink coffee today. I did not drink coffee today, and I think that's why I'm getting all stumbled up. I'm just trying to make an excuse for all my mistakes today. So just sorry. This reducing of risk through deleveraging could potentially boost demands for bonds if it is causing excess volatility. Already, Goldman Sachs, POSs, said the amount of position covering last week by U.S. hedge funds, buying and selling, was the highest since the financial crisis more than a decade ago. The trend has drawn the ire of hedge funds, with global industry body AIMA calling it dangerous. Of course they're going to do that. Silver lining. Some on the online Reddit Wall Street Bets group, or WSB, urge followers to keep focus on GameStop. We just have to stick to the same plan we've had all along. Hold. We didn't go through the bloodbath last week for nothing. Keep it up, boys, a user posted, referring to GameStop's decline from nearly $500. But the moves into silver continued after online discussions turned to silver late last week. Reddit posts suggest higher prices could hurt banks with large short positions. Good! They should get hurt after all the silver manipulation, especially with JP Morgan Chase, especially with that bank, with Jamie Dimon, who has continuously manipulated the silver markets. And that buying easy to access exchange traded silver funds could quickly ramp up the metal's value. Get out there and buy at least 4 ounces of silver as soon as you can, one forum participant posted. Retail traders poured a record 30.6 million into Australian ETF securities physical silver fund by the afternoon. A silver ETF in Japan surged 11%. Global short interest in silver, or the cumulative value of bets it falls in price, is equivalent to about 900 million ounces. Wow. Do they even really have that? Just short of annual global production. Banks and brokers hold most of that. Really? They do? I mean, do they actually hold that much physical silver? Do they? That's the question, because if they're trading these paper silver, do they actually have the physical silver to back that? I'm just wondering out loud. About 610 million ounces. But it is not clear whether they are net short on the metal, see what I mean? Or whether their bets offset very big physical holdings. Exactly what I just said. Commerce Bank analyst Eugene Weinberg said the amateurs could find silver a very different position to GameStop. Oh yeah, because the price of silver are going to soar once they are exposed. We see little chances of any tightening of the silver market, he said. After all, the market is not only large and difficult to manipulate. Yeah, right. Unlike with shares, there is no excessive short selling with silver. I guess you can say that is true with physical silver. But with paper silver, it's constant manipulation. Here we go. JP Morgan analysis said fundamentals did not justify a sustained decoupling of silver prices from gold. Gold prices rose less than 1% on Monday. But they warned the frenzy of retail buying has rebased silver prices higher for the time being. The rush was testing limitations in newer trading platforms and processing venues, with U.S. broker Ampex warning of processing delays while it secured more silver bullion. The money metals exchange, meanwhile, suspended trade until mid-morning Monday. Similar hiccups. Excuse me, people. I am so sorry for today. Like I said, I have not had a cup of coffee yet. I mean, it's nighttime and I'll be winding down, so I cannot drink. I guess I gotta drink. I guess I gotta drink more alcohol. I don't know. Similar hiccups were seen last week when GameStop, AMC, and a few other volatile stocks faced temporary buying restrictions in trading apps like Robinhood. Roll on Reddit. Meanwhile, the Redditors are rolling on. Several of the renegade traders are millionaires on paper, and their hedge fund adversaries are nursing their wounds. Melvin Capital, which bet against GameStop, lost 53% in January. Robinhood, the Redditors' main broker, has also backed down and lifted some of the buying restrictions it imposed last week, although limits remain on 8 companies including GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry. However, the regular circulating... this is the press secretary's favorite word. However, the regulars circling both Robinhood and the Redditors forums, the battle is far from over. I'll tell you one thing, absolute guarantee this ends in tears. I just don't know when, said CMC's Michael McCarthy. Okay, so that article again was from Reuters, and it was written by Tom Westbrook, and excuse me if I'm killing the name, but I'm going to try to pronounce this. Thaya Garuju Andinarayan. Okay, I know it sounded kind of, weird. So, thoughts on this? I think it's time that these hedge funds and big banks fail. I honestly, they have been manipulating the market for such a long time. It is rigged for these people to win. It's not rigged for the average person like you and I to win. It was never built that way. And it was unfortunate that Roosevelt, who put into effect the Great New Deal, he put into effect that, and my understanding of the history was when that went through, everybody had to give up their silver coins in exchange for paper money, and that was unfortunate because, at least with the silver coin, the prices can go up, but it can also go down. But long term, it will go up. Long term, it will go up. And that's the type of money that we should be having. We shouldn't be having money that devalues. We should be having money that values, like appreciates, not depreciates. I am a big... I will push silver till the day I die. I am a big proponent of it. Some people may disagree with that, but hey, I'm not a financial advisor. I like to just, take all the information I get from people who are financially educated, and I take it with a grain of salt, and I figure out what's best for me and my family. And for me personally, I think holding physical silver is a great thing to do, because it's a tangible asset that you have in your possession, in your hand, or in your safe where it should be. So I definitely agree with people who push silver as an asset to have. Another thing that I'm a fan of is certain cryptocurrencies. I'm a very big proponent. So the story of me learning about Bitcoin, back in 2011 was the first time I've heard about Bitcoin. And back then I was contemplating, like, should I put $100 on Bitcoin? And mind you, it was less than pennies for one Bitcoin before. So fast forward to 2017, I believe, and we see Bitcoin shoot up to $20,000 a coin. And at that point, I was like, damn, if I was just to put $100 into Bitcoin back in 2011, I could have made out pretty good. I could have made out really good. Shoot, I could have just quit my job back then and there if I had that, but I didn't. So I got into Bitcoin when it was already too late, when it peaked back in 2017. So I got in. And even, eventually over time, I was able to save up to get one whole Bitcoin. And because of the market drop back in 2000, I think it was 2017. 2018, I believe, is where it went way down. It went all the way down to 3,000s. And I'm scooping up some money, and I'm trying to put it into Bitcoin just to try to buy a full Bitcoin. And I was able to buy a full Bitcoin. So it goes back up to about $10,000, goes in between 10,000, 12, 8, no, it ranged from 7 to like 12, and then it goes up and down between that price range. It was going up and down between that price range. So just recently, I started noticing that it was going above 12,000. So I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And it hit the all-time high, which was about 20,000, and I was stoked. I was stoked. So it just kept going up and up and up and up. And I saw that it peaked all the way to 42,000, and I blew my mind because I said to myself, man, I made a great decision financially. So I'm at wherever Bitcoin is now is where I'm at. And back in 2017, 2018-ish, I was pushing for it. I was telling people, dude, you guys should get into this right now. I mean, you guys saw what happened. It peaked at 20,000, it dropped down, and people were telling me, "Oh, it's a scam, all this and that." And I said, "Okay, well, we'll see." And these people, they had trust in the stock market. I still don't have, my retirement funds play into the stock market. So with my personal money, I never put my personal money into the stock market because I already have it in some of my retirement stuff. And yeah, I've had some okay gains, but those markets are manipulated as well. I mean, we saw what happened with the GameStop thing. It's all manipulated. They just, the hedge funders just got a taste of their own medicine, and they deserve it. They deserve to fail. They deserve it. They deserve another Great Depression. They do. Those people do. Us, normal people, they need, not normal people, but those people, those hedge funders and big bankers, they need to get a taste of how it feels to be a normal person. So I was so happy to find out that people were able to do that. But anyways, back to my story about how I was trying to encourage people about trying to get into Bitcoin. So I said to myself, all right, screw it. One day I'll be the one to laugh at these guys because they were, they would laugh at me and tell me that I'm stupid and I'm getting into a scam and, this and the other. I was like, all right, cool. We'll see. In the end, we'll see who has the last laugh. Well, fast forward to today. I'm not laughing yet. I mean, yeah, I'm probably ahead of than a lot of other people out there, but I'm not. It's not done yet. It's not over. But I will be laughing my way out the door because I told people and some of these guys are starting to get into it now. And I said I told you guys years ago. And you guys just laughed at me. That's my exact words. So, I'm not trying to give any financial advice. I do listen to certain people as far as financial stuff goes. My main go-to person for financial information, not advice, information, is Bix Weir, because he knows a lot. He's been in there. He's been in, he's had his hands dirty with this whole kind of thing before. Like, he knows the game pretty good. But like I said, he's my source of information, not my financial advisor. And I myself, I'm not giving you financial advice, but I am telling you where to get the information. He can refer you to financial advisors. I just hope that it goes even further, because I'd really like to quit my job. And I'd really like to stop putting this restriction on my mouth so I can talk about more other things. But apparently, in the day and age that we live in, I'm very restricted in what I can say about certain things. And a lot of it has to do with my employment, my job. But hey, one day, it'll be uncovered, and I'll be able to talk about things, especially things that relate to my work. All right, so I got another article here by the New York Post. These guys are pretty legit, New York Post. This one was written by Noah Manskar. It was written today. Article reads, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev explains why GameStop trading was restricted. Oh, please tell us why. Please. Robinhood blocked investors from buying shares of GameStop last week only after a Wall Street cleaning house sent the stock trading startup a dead of the night demand for three you ready for this? Billion to support the trades. CEO Vlad Tenev said. Under questioning from billionaire Tesla boss Elon Musk, I don't really trust the guy. A lot of people like him, but there's something about that guy that I do not trust. Tenev broke down how Robinhood restricted trading on several meme stocks while under pressure from the National Securities Clearing Corporation, a financial institution that clears and settles stock trades between brokers. Spill the beans, man. What happened last week? Musk asked Tenev during an early Monday morning broadcast on Clubhouse, an audio streaming app. The people demand an answer, and they want to know the details and the truth, he added. As Tenev explained, Robinhood has to deposit money with the clearinghouse, commonly known as the NSCC, based on several factors such as the volatility of trading activity and concentration intro certain securities. I think they meant to put into certain securities. At 3:30 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, the morning after Reddit's Wall Street Bets message board sparked a flurry of trading in GameStop and other meme stocks. Robinhood received a request from the NSCC for a roughly, ready for this, $3 billion deposit, a far larger number than normal, according to Tenev. Just to give context, Robinhood, up until that point, has raised around $2 billion in total venture capital up until now, Tenev said. So it's a bigger number. The NSCC eventually lowered the request to $700 million after Robinhood officials outlined a plan to manage risk in GameStop and other volatile stocks on Thursday, according to Tenev. That was why Robinhood temporarily blocked traders from buying new GameStop shares, a move that sparked widespread outrage and several lawsuits. Robinhood has since allowed its customers to buy limited numbers of GameStop shares and options contracts. Musk, who expressed support last week for the Reddit forum that's been waging war on Wall Street short sellers, said the NSCC should be more transparent about why it asked Robinhood for such a massive deposit. I guess people really just want to know. If you had no choice, then you had no choice. It's a gun to the head situation. And then that's understandable, Musk told Tenev. But then whoever put that gun into your head should be willing to answer to the public. What everyone wants to know is, like, did something maybe shady go down here? Musk asked the embattled CEO. It seems weird that you'd get a sudden 10 billion demand, at 3 a.m, he added before Tenev corrected him on the amount. Tenev replied that he would impugn sadness to it, noting that the NSCC worked with Robinhood to reduce the required deposit. Is anyone holding you hostage right now? Musk wondered in response. Tenev tried to reassure him, saying, No, I'm okay. Yeah, I can just see the discussion between these two. While Musk seems sympathetic to Tenev, his explanation did not quell the outrage of rookie investors on Reddit Wall Street Bets forum who helped pump up GameStop's share price last week. Make him sound incompetent at best, corrupt as F at worst, a user named Backins313 wrote on the message board. The NSCC's parent company, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, stood by its deposit requirements, saying that the NSCC collects money according to calculations that are set forth in its rules. When volatility increases, portfolio margin requirements increase too, and NSCC clearing chambers may pass on these costs to their clients, including brokerage that clear through them. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation told the Post in a statement. Margin requirements protect the entire industry against defaults and systemic risk in volatile markets. Separately, Robinhood said it raised another $2.4 billion from shareholders just days after exiting. Investors pumped in $1 billion in funding. The online brokerage, in a blog post on Monday, said the round was led by Rabbit Capital, with participation from existing investors including ICO, NIQ, Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, Index Ventures, and NEA. So that article came from the New York Post, written by Noah Manskar, and that was today. And today being February 1st, 2021. Yeah, over time, what I've learned about these mainstream media financial people is that, and look, don't take this as financial advice, because I am not an advisor by any means. I don't plan on being one. I don't have the patience, nor do I have the mathematical skills to do it. But I do notice this when these mainstream media financial professionals give advice. Usually the opposite happens from what they say. And that's just I base that based on observation. Okay. So, you can take that for a grain of salt, because I am not a financial advisor, but I do push for you to find the financial information on how to become a more successful financial investor. I don't care where you guys go to, but make sure they're trustworthy. I mean, the guy that I go to the most, I find him very trustworthy. And I'm not trying to, I'm not saying that he's the end all be all. I'm just saying that's where I get my info from. So, I think we're entering an era where this whole financial system is going to completely change. And I see a lot of positive changes for the people if this pans out the way it should. I mean, think about it. I hear a lot of theories about Trump still being president, running the country like behind closed doors. And you know what? There could be some truth to that. There really could. But as I've always been pushing to people, the most important thing is to always establish that relationship with God. God is the ultimate. He is the ultimate chess master here. He is making the moves. He is using people to do his bidding. Okay? We cannot forget that. We cannot forget that. And I'll also stress out to you people that it's time. It's time to find that happiness. It's time to find that thing that, it's time for you to find that thing that makes you happy. Start making it a business for yourself. Start working for yourself. I don't know about you, but for me, I hate the feeling of having to answer to somebody. Or I even get the feeling sometimes that this person who is my supposed boss, I feel like this person has power over me because, that person feels like I need that job. And yeah, to a degree, there is some truth to it, but I'm tired of feeling that way. Hence me trying to make this my thing. We all got to find that thing that makes us happy and be our own boss. Because that's going to make us live longer. And, people have priorities on what's important in their life. For me, it's my family. For some people, it may be money. For some people, it may be power. But you know what? If that's what's important to them, then let them do what they do. But for me, I want to be able to live a life, and when I'm finally on my deathbed, I want to be able to say to myself, I never sold out to anything. I've always kept my beliefs with me and stood by them. I didn't cave in or try to alter what I believed in because of money or a job or anything like that. I want to die a happy man who's content about everything in my life that I've done. And that's where I'm trying to steer my life right now. I'm trying to steer in a direction where I will be content with every decision that I've made. It doesn't matter if I fail or if I succeed, because even with failures, you still succeed. You can't succeed without failures. You have to fail in order to know what your weaknesses are. And we have to stop this mentality of teaching our kids that making mistakes are bad. Making the same mistakes over and over again are bad, but making a few mistakes for something that you don't know how to do or something you have no clue about, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes on that. Those are learning lessons, and those are the things that you should be embracing the most. And I know I sound like a skip CD by saying this all in a lot of my shows, but I really want to stress out to people that it's time. This is the time right now. This is the time. We're not going to have another chance to make memories with our family. We're never going to be able to rewind time to do that again. And for me, it's important that my kids have great memories of me. even if I have to act like a stupid fool in order for them to get a laugh that's going to be ingrained in them until they're old and they can pass those stories on to their kids, that's going to mean a lot to me more than any amount of money. Because that's going to make their kids think like, oh, wow, that's cool. Or, oh, he was funny. And those are the type of things that you want to pass down to your kids. Memories like that. So, I'm done. I'm done ranting and raving here about what I think. So, make sure you guys build that relationship with God and build it strong. God is real. I know that for a fact. Through my experiences in life, I know for a fact that God is real. Maybe on the next show, I'll talk about how I almost lost my family because of money. And then you can put into perspective what's important to you. My time with my family is my gold. And I'm doing anything. I'm working my butt off right now to make sure that I'm able to get this to succeed, so then I can be a happy man. I want to be financially stable, but I want to be very rich in family. That's my goal. So, like I end every show, with that being said,
the bar is now closed.
I can't help but wonder if I'm under a spell. It's more than a passing notion. I've never fallen with such devotion. I can't help but wonder if it's only a dream. Am I naive or can I believe that things are really as they seem? Can anyone explain how to understand what's true? I know I just can't tame it. Whenever I'm with you, I can't help but wonder if you wonder about me. 'Cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be. Can anyone explain it? How to understand what's true? I know I just can't tell it. Whenever I'm with you, I can't help but wonder if you wonder about me. 'Cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be. 'Cause lately I can't help